guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today is day 1 of Hydra Clan Boss. What do you think of Hydra so far? Keep in mind these keys on Hydra Clan Boss, they only replenish once a week. So right now, it would behoove you guys to, try different strategies, go into Hydra Clan Boss, and use the new regroup option, right? That allows you to end the battle early. As long as an Ithwi doesn't die here. End the battle early. Whoa. Free regroup. You can use these as much as you want. You're not going to waste your keys. So try out different strategies and make sure you're using that free regroup until you want to lock in the damage that you're happy with. Today, I'm going to share 10 champions who early on here, again, I got to stress this. This is just day 1 at the time of this recording right now, but I'm seeing a lot of you guys. I woke up to a bunch of tweets at CWA on Twitter if you want to follow me. I try to respond to all the tweets that I see. A lot of tweets asking, what champions should I use here, Ash? Early on, help us out. So I went through, collected the best teams that I saw so far on other YouTube channels, on Reddit, on social media, on Discord chats as well, and just sharing that feedback with you guys early on. I'm sure in a week or two, in a month or two, and throughout the next year, we're going to have a bunch of champions that aren't on this list that are really, really good against the Hydra Clan Boss. Before we get into those champions, early opinions on Hydra Clan Boss from me. Number 1 is, at least on the earlier difficulties, normal and hard is all we've seen at the time of this recording here, not even hard in my clan yet. We want to be very careful, again, with not using your keys, and survivability isn't as much of an issue as it is against regular clan boss. Now, again, that will probably change as we get more difficult, but we're starting to see teams go with kind of 2 damage dealers, 4 support, or even 3 damage dealers and 3 support early on. These battles go long. So observation number 2 is, man, more time wasted in this game. Why'd they have to make it take 100 rounds or more, man? Yikes, it takes a long time. So kind of bummed out about the time issue again here. I know I'd mentioned it a lot. I know I complained about it a lot here. Not trying to send bad vibes to you guys. I'm just saying, they need to get in there and do something about the time stuff. So I'd like to see them implement some fast time fixes in other areas, such as Doom Tower keys and stuff like that. Come on, Plarium. Come on, man. Save us some time, please.
As a part of this big program in reducing the time for players that you need to spend on the game if you want to.
You fellas are nothing to worry about. I'm a professional.
And observation number 3 is, the head of Mischief is so annoying, dude. The head of Mischief. Where are you, head of Mischief? What head? Where are you? Can I even click on these heads? I have to go to the boss guide. But the head of Mischief, dude, is ridiculous. He's eating up your champions. He is, you can see, by the way, the champion's kind of fighting in the belly, which is pretty cool. But if you don't have Hex, or your Hex debuffer gets eaten, you're kind of screwed. So the eating of champions, to me, is the most annoying thing about the Hydra Clan Boss. But my biggest complaint, really, is the fact that once you use champions, you can't use them anymore, during that week, during that rotation. And that just does not help really anybody, even big spenders in this game. It's really kind of the lousiest part, in my opinion, on Hydra Clan Boss. For example, you can see the champions that I used. I mean, I'm done. That's it. I can't use them anymore this week, and that pertains to everybody in the game. So that is my biggest complaint. Boy, that doesn't feel good. But the good news is there are some champions who are standing out as great options. The bad news is it's a lot more difficult than I thought on normal, on like the easiest difficulties. It's a lot more difficult. So I just have to say it again. I don't want to be super negative because I'm excited that there's something new in the game. They're adding a lot this year. They added a lot this year. But boy, you can't help but feel for people who are free to play. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to enjoy the Hydra Clan Boss on my free to play account, I only have like 8 champions even built, let alone the champions that I have on my main account that I'm able to kind of theory craft and go in there and have some fun and try different combinations. I don't have that on my free to play. So I know there's millions of people in the same boat as I am. So that really sucks. All right, with all that out of the way, let's talk about some champions that are really beasts. I'll show you really quickly in case you guys missed it. This is the team that I use. I just wanted to help my clan beat the normal difficulty. So ideally, I would not have burnt a key this early without more damage. But I scored almost 20 million damage. Nothing crazy. I've already seen like 40, 50 million damage, mostly on the back of Geomancer and Ninja combinations. But this is the team that I use: Duchess, Ugo, Rio, Elder Scar, Lady Kimmy, and Iron Brago. Again, not the perfect team, just kind of the team that I used, a couple champions that I saw that were performing really well. So let's get into those champions, guys. And let's start out with clearly the #1 champion that everybody, if they're not talking about him yet, they will be in a day or two. And that's going to be Inquisitor Shamil. So this guy is a beast, one of the best clan boss champions in the game. We got to start with him, right? I mean, any video or any recommendations that don't mention him is going to be missing one of the shining. Him and his puny little crossbow here, the wooden crossbow. After all the gold and gilded weapons in this game, he's got this stupid wooden crossbow. Why? A great choice. Why? Because of his A1. Basically, every time an enemy places a debuff on an ally, uses a skill against the enemy, and what he's going to be doing is decreasing the duration of debuffs and removing those fears, right? So removing fears is going to, and true fears is going to be very, very essential for this, for Hydra Clan boss. So Inquisitor Shamil is going to be great for removing those fears. I forgot, man, I'm such an idiot. I forget which head puts the fears on, but that's going to be a massive issue for you guys. So Inquisitor Shamil, and he can deal a lot of damage as well. So he's a great champion, incredibly good for a Hydra Clan boss. So Inquisitor Shamil is a champion that everybody should build. I don't even have him built on my main account, guys. So that's why I didn't use him, but I will be using him. So next up is Elder Scar, guys. This guy is a beast in general. I think an underrated legendary champion, and he's really good against the Hydra because of his A2, which we'll talk about in just a second. On his A1, we have increased speed on himself. That's great. If the attack is critical, which it always will be, we'll be building him out to 100% crit rate. And then a 3-time hitter on his A2, an extra hit, up to 3 extra hits for each debuff or buff on the target. Now, there's always debuffs or buffs on the Hydra, so this is going to be proccing oftentimes 6 hits on this A2, placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns on all enemies if it places all 3 extra hits. Also true fear, but obviously the heads are immune to true fear. But then it steals all the buffs from the target after the attack. So it's a great way to land a lot of damage, HP burn on all the heads, and also stealing buffs from the target. He also has increased defense for him on himself, for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So easier to keep alive as well, doing a bunch of other stuff. Overall, Elder Skarg, I put him on my team, an overall great champion, especially for the Hydra Clan boss. The next one is probably an obvious one of the best damage dealing options against, well, really anybody in the game, especially the Hydra Clan boss or any boss. It's Ninja. I mean, I'll keep it simple. Ninja for dealing a lot of damage, right? Use Ninja, he deals a ton of damage. That's all you need to know about it. It's this Hail Burn ability. He can be a damage carry, one of the best damage carries, if not the best so far that we've found against Hydra Clan boss. Next up,
is that it?
What the f is going to be another champion that you might have noticed that I used, and that is not Demon Spawn, but Ogryn Tribe, Ugo. So Ugo is my favorite epic they added this year. She's a tremendous champion overall, and I have to say, block buffs does really, really well against these Hydra heads. They're not going to be placing buffs on themselves for 2 turns out of every 3 turns. We also have her as our debuffer with decreased defense, and the chance of placing block buffs is increased by 5% for each enemy alive, so we're going against all those heads, the 4 heads, you know, we're going to have that block buff consistently landing. So a really, really good ability, already a great champion. She's also healing. She's also placing leeches. She's also removing a random debuff from all allies on her A3. So she's tremendous. Highly advise you guys check out Ugo. Next up is going to be the 2 passive beasts in the game, Tawana Rock for increased defense, increased speed. She has the decreased attack and a block buffs again. Also a debuff spread. So very, very effective. She's a god against Hydra Clan boss. Also because of this passive, obviously removing 1 random debuff from all allies at the start of each turn, or 2 if they're under continuous heal. That's going to be very helpful to get rid of those fears as well. And then we have obviously the epic option in that regard. It's going to be Doom Priest, who's good really everywhere, it feels like, in this game. Heals all allies by 7.5% of their HP and removes 1 random debuff at the start of this champion's turn. I highly encourage you guys to consider putting Doom Priest or Tawana Rock in Relentless gear, proccing more turns, ergo activating that passive yet again. So really, really good options in both those 2 champions. We talked about damage dealers. Well, actually, let's take a break from damage dealers for a second. Rector Droth, man. She's a boss, right? You can have that veil. Having veils or break veils is going to be so important. So if you don't have Duchess, a champion like Retrodrath is going to be incredible, especially maybe even a very high resist build. I want to experiment with high resist teams, with bomb teams, with some outside the box strategies with all hex teams for Hydra Clan Boss. But again, that's going to take more time than just one day. I just wanted to get this content out to you guys early for some options. So heals all allies, places a perfect Veil buff on a 4-turn cooldown, also is there for Revival. I will say though, Revival isn't as maybe quintessential to every team as we initially thought, with them eating everybody. You know, they could eat your Reviver, but also healing in all allies under Veil and Perfect Veil every turn, and increasing resistance as well. So Retrodroth bring a lot to the table there, very fast, good base stats. I think she's going to be a standout option for you guys against this new Hydra Clan Boss. And then we have a couple more for you guys. We have, in terms of damage, again, the best damage that I've seen so far, granted very early on here, was about 50 million, and that was on the back of Geomancer, right? So Geomancer, we already know he's incredibly good. Yes, he's incredibly good even against Hydra Clan Boss. Whenever this champion is attacked, deflects 30% of the damage instead. When deflecting damage on each enemy hit, has a 30% chance of dealing additional damage equal to 3% of this target's max HP. You know, this passive and putting the HP burn, the weaken, is incredible for the Hydra Clan Boss. Incredible against most bosses in the game. So Geomancer, again, is a decent option, a good option, a great option against Hydra Clan Boss in the early days here, it appears, for damage. And then the last but not least is just one of the standouts here is Under Priest Brogni. Again, there's a lot of legendaries I did not include. You saw that I used Duchess and Rio Bone Spear, but again, I didn't want this list to be all legendaries. I wanted to give you guys a good mix of epic champions as well. Even champions that I didn't include, but I just want to give a shout out to Apothecary, to Verask. Basically having really strong healers on your team is going to be helpful. So I think that, you know, screw it, we'll include both of them in the list anyway. But first, Brogni is just beast mode in terms of support for the Hydra Clan Boss. You guys already know what he does, but he has removing buffs from enemies. He has shields on all allies. He has block of debuffs. He has increased attack. He's doing it all. He also has whenever an ally under shield is attacked, it's reflecting damage back. It's incredible stuff here. So Brogni, definitely one of the better carries inside the entire game. Sadly, I'm an idiot and I did not fuse him. So guys, you know,
you're dead to me.
Don't want to cancel the game yet there, Ash. Come on, bro. But yeah, I mentioned it quickly, but I'll mention it again. I think that Verask is going to be a great option for you guys, especially people in the mid game. Especially for people who, you know, might not have a lot of these newer champions maxed out. I think that Verask, just off this passive, heals all allies by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit, is going to be great for keeping your team alive. So guys, that's going to do it. What do you think so far? Give me your first thoughts on the Hydra Clan Boss. Do you agree with my concerns over Hydra Clan Boss, the time issue, and just like kind of the availability of a bunch of different champions that most people probably don't have built? It does feel a little bit more end game than we thought, a little bit more difficult than we thought. I want to hear from you guys, and I want to hear if you have an MVP that I did not mention. Let me know who's working for you in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for watching all the way till the end. Give me a follow on Twitter. Show me your best Clan Boss Hydra team at CWA on Twitter. And a big shout out to GFUEL, where you can get 10% off your entire order if you use code ASH at checkout using the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.